The writers of the lost generation. This new generation of writers arises around the 1920s after the World War I, a group of people who moved to Europe as their hometown, the United States, had suffered the terrible consequences and been destroyed. This generation of authors moved to Europe. The majority of them went to Paris, and they lived and worked there until the Great Depression. The writers of the lost generation felt that the old norms or rules were no longer relevant when writing. They were ready to start a new, different style, as they criticized or recalled what their country was going through after the World War I. Lost generation is a term introduced by Gertrude Stein as she mentions to Hemingway, "You are old, a lost generation." Now let's see who are the main authors, the authors of the lost generation. Already mentioned Gertrude Stein, novelist, poet, and playwright, known to be the collector of modernist art and also expert on literary innovations. Her most representative works were The Making of Americans and the autobiography of Alice B. Toklas. Ernest Hemingway, a novelist, story writer, and journalist, known for his particular writing style, he won a Nobel Prize for The Old Man and the Sea, and his works are known to describe wilderness, love, or war. In his novel The Sun Also Rises, Ernest Hemingway uses the quote, "You are all a lost generation" by Gertrude as epigraph. This novel expresses the feelings or emotions of the youth who had moved to Paris after the World War I. Scott Fitzgerald, a novelist and short story writer, he is known to be one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, and his works are considered a part of the Jazz Age. His best-known work is The Great Gatsby, in which Fitzgerald describes the Jazz Age or the Roaring Twenties. He also makes reference to the idealism, decadence, or the resistance to change in society, among other characteristics. John Dos Passos, a novelist, journalist, playwright, and poet, he focuses on the development of urban life in New York from the Gilded Age to the Jazz Age in his novel Manhattan Transfer. And finally, we have T.S. Eliot, a publisher, essayist, and playwright. He is mainly recognized for his poem The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. This poem is considered to be a cultural shift from the Romantic verse and Georgian lyrics to modernism.
Created using Powtoon.